Hello folks, in this video I'll explain the two types of probation. One is called regular probation or straight probation, and the other is called deferred adjudication probation. There are two very important differences between the two, and that's what this video is about. Hello folks, I'm Andrew Williams, and this is another edition of the Fedora Lawyer. I'm board certified in criminal law, and I have 30 years of trial experience behind me. On this channel, I share my years of experience with you to give you a better understanding of the law and hopefully use it to your benefit. As always, I provide general legal information. You should always consult a lawyer in your area for the law that might apply to your particular case. Okay, now there are two general types of probation. One is what you're probably familiar with is straight probation or regular probation. That's where you plead guilty to the judge finds you guilty, puts you on a period of probation instead of putting you in jail. Deferred adjudication, on the other hand, is when you plead guilty to the judge, but this time the judge doesn't find you guilty. The judge says something like this: based on your plea of guilty, I find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I won't do that today. I'll just put you on supervision, see how you do, and we'll take it from there. In both types of probation, if you don't violate, you don't go to jail. But unlike regular probation, on deferred, you're not found guilty unless you violate, and you don't have a final felony conviction. Regular probation, you have a conviction. Deferred, you don't. That's one big difference between probation and deferred. And the other is how you're punished if you violate some condition of your supervision. On regular probation, if you violate some condition, the judge is limited to the amount of time he can send you to prison for. I'll explain this by way of example. If the judge finds you guilty of a crime that carries a maximum of 20 years in prison, but only sentences you to 5 years, probated for 5 years, on a violation of your probation, the judge can only put you in jail for 5 years, not the 20-year maximum. The judge is limited to the 5 years because that's the sentence he gave you when he first found you guilty and put you on probation. The judge can never give you more than 5 years, even though the maximum is 20 years. Now let's take the same situation, but with deferred adjudication. Here you plead guilty, but this time the judge withholds the finding of guilt, so it's the same as the other one. Even though the maximum is 20 years, you're only on probation for 5 years. But if you violate some condition of your deferred probation, this time the judge can hammer you. He's not limited to 5 years. He can give you the entire 20 years if he wants. And that's the real danger of deferred adjudication type probation. The judge didn't find you guilty at the start, and he didn't sentence you to any particular time in jail. So now, if you violate, he can find you guilty and sentence you all at the same time. So on a violation, the judge finds you guilty, he can send you to prison for 20 years if he wants. So for regular probation, you're found guilty at the very start, and you're given a specific sentence, and you also have a final felony conviction. For deferred adjudication, you're not found guilty at the start, you're not given a specific sentence, and you don't have a final felony conviction yet. On regular probation, just like deferred adjudication, if you don't violate, you don't go to jail. But on regular probation, you have a conviction at the start, regardless of whether you violate in the future. You always have that conviction from the get-go. However, the judge is limited to the amount of time he can send you to jail for if you do violate. On deferred, you don't have a conviction at the very beginning. However, you might end up getting a lot more time if you violate. So those are the main differences between regular probation and deferred adjudication. I hope this information was helpful in understanding the difference between regular probation and deferred probation. If it was, hit the like button for me. Maybe somebody else will find it helpful as well. If you like this video, you might want to check out this video on how to get off probation early. You can also visit my website at fedoralawyer.com to get more information on other legal topics. For now, this is the Fedora Lawyer signing off.